Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the literary term short story. We all know that stories are as old as our civilization, and since time immemorial, they have been a source of pleasure as well as knowledge for us. Means they entertain and instruct us at the same time. Now, the question is that what is a short story? What type or form of literary genre it is? So here is the definition. A short story is a brief fictional prose narrative that is shorter than a novel and that usually deals with only a few characters. In other words, we can say that most of the terms for analyzing the component parts, the types, and the various narrative techniques of the novel are applicable to the short story as well. But compared to novel, it's truly a compact package. Okay, keep this in mind that although all the ingredients of a novel are present in a short story also, but short story is presented to us in a compact package. Students is the most popular form of literature, and a number of writers employ various techniques and also introduces new elements to provide a concrete shape to their themes, and therefore there are various definitions of a short story. As for example, I'll take Edgar Allan Poe's definition. Edgar Allan Poe defines it in his essay The Philosophy of Composition, and according to him, a short story should be read in one sitting, anywhere from a half hour to 2 hours, and that is limited to a certain unique or single effect to which every detail is subordinate. And now I am mentioning one more definition which is quite different and unique in itself. This comes from the famous short story writer Anton Chekhov. According to him, the story should have neither a beginning nor an end. In fact, he affirms that it should be only a slice of life. What? A slice of life presented suggestively. And if we read his stories, we will find that he leaves their ends hanging in the air. And we, the readers, are expected to draw our own conclusions. Okay, so in this way, there are different definitions of short stories. But in general, we can say that the short story is a story that is short, that it differs from the novel in the dimension which Aristotle calls magnitude. Okay, what he calls it? Aristotle calls it magnitude. And this limitation imposes differences both in the effects that can be achieved and in the choice and the management of the elements to achieve those effects. Here, if we refer to Poe's definition of the short story, it points to economy of management, which the tightness of the form always imposes in some degree. We can say that by and large, the short story writer introduces a very limited number of characters. In fact, usually a single character, because he cannot afford the space for a deep analysis and sustained development of a character. And he cannot undertake to develop a detailed social milieu as a novelist can do. He often begins his story close to or even on the verge of the climax, and there is not much space for him for the exposition and the details of the setting. He keeps the complications down and clears up the denouement quickly, and sometimes just in a few sentences. The central incident is selected to reveal as much as possible of the totality of the protagonist's life and character, and the details are devised to carry maximum significance. This spareness in the narrative means often gives the artistry in a good short story higher visibility than the artistry in an equally good novel. Anyhow, there are no fixed rules or limitations related to its length and other component parts. It must be remembered that the short story, it covers a great diversity of prose fiction, all the way from the very short story to short story and to novella. An average short story is 1000 to 7500 words. But there are exceptions also, and there are writers who write their stories in around 10,000 to 15,000 words. That covers almost 10 to 25 pages, and that makes short stories shorter than novels, their dimension, okay, their magnitude, with only a few approaching novella length. Then a piece of fiction which is shorter than 1000 words is considered a short story, or it is also known as flash fiction. And anything that is less than 300 words is called as microfiction. So this is what certain things are regarding the length of the short story. Now, characteristics of a short story. Number one, unity of effect is very important. A short story should create a single impression. Then next is precision, brevity. That is very essential. It should be highly economical with words. Then structural unity. Most stories revolve around a single incident, character, or period of time. And lastly, character should be developed to the extent required by the story. So, students, today I have told you about the definition of the short story and the characteristics of a short story. Now, tomorrow I will tell you about the key elements of a short story and about the different types of short stories. So, for today, that's all. Thank you.